October and November had passed by, and the only time when I felt like I belonged here was on my train to the host family during the winter break in December. The only time in all these months when I realized that I do actually feel at home here. I was homesick. I was missing two things really badly. First, the oily, spicy Indian food. And secondly, you all. We all know we are caught up. Sometimes in rehearsals, sometimes studying, or rather most of the time studying. Sometimes in relationships, and sometimes just the complexity of the nature of life if you study in Dr. Paul's philosophy classes. Who doesn't feel like they should have taken more out of this experience? I feel that too. Every conversation I had, I feel I should have had more. Every movie I saw, I feel I should have seen more. Every cup of tea I had, I wish I had more. Now some of you second years might say, well, you have another year ahead. I say, I do have another year ahead, but I don't have you guys. I realized yesterday that every single one of you filled the empty space because Duino is more than just the 8 BFFs you have here. I've learned a lot from all of you. I've learned how to fight for rights, even if that means fighting for an hour with Brunella and Fernando to get my seashells back on the shores of Spain. I've learned that the world is bigger and different. The world for me back home was really small. Life felt content and satisfied even with a small meal that we had each day. The only thing that caused sadness in our lives was the suffering of the poor actresses in the Bollywood soap operas. I know that while discovering myself here, I have lost a lot of my old one. It has been frightening to see myself change, to do things that I never imagined I would be doing, like dancing Caribbean. To see myself looking at things differently. I realized that now I don't think smoking or drinking makes a person bad. To say things that I never said before, like, oh, it's difficult. It's difficult to embrace that 9 months have changed me so much that I'm scared of going back. Whether or not I'm able to come back here or see some of you again, I have a lot of things from you. Things that will stay in the form of memories, pictures, sweaters, jokes, and yeah, don't forget the yearbook. I'm going back and I'm packing my bag again, but not with guilt anymore. With the joy of having spent the year with some extraordinary individuals, intellectuals, rebels, actors, artists, radicals, travelers, thinkers, human beings, who are all just like me. The guilt has now turned into accomplishment. The burden of leaving my mother alone and my home does not feel that heavy anymore, because I know that I'm carrying back a lot of things. I still have to pack, but I know that what I have in my bag is also satisfaction. Thank you. Thank you, Secondi, and thank you, my lovely poyers, for making my year without my mother worth it. Thank you.
Celia, it is now your turn to deliver a speech as a representative of the second years.
5th of May 2014. Take a breath, child. Italy, 2 years. The adventure starts. I'm extremely happy and at the same time already nostalgic for what I'm going to leave behind. I don't know what I'll find there. I don't know what to expect. I know nothing. My way, my adventures, everything starts today. 25th August 2014. Tick, tack, tick, tack. It has arrived, the night that never ends. In a few hours, I'm leaving all what I have known behind. In a few hours, I'll be 1,358 kilometers away. Will I be ready for the challenges that I'll face? Will these 2 years fly away, and in the end, feel that they have been a waste of time? 27th August 2014, first day in Luino. I went down to Porto to see the sunset. Indescribable, breathtaking. This is my new home. I knew how to arrive to Porto, even if I had not been here before, because I've watched too many league ducks from other years. While I was walking down, I asked myself how many stories of people I meet these streets have been a scenario. Many years, many people who come and go away, many unique and unrepeatable moments. These were my first thoughts before actually knowing what Duino is. I was excited, yes. I was really looking forward for the day that I would leave my country and start a new life far away. I wanted to learn as much as I could, make friends from all over the world, absorb knowledge as a sponge, travel and live a lot of adventures. I wanted to discover, to experience, to enjoy life just for the sake of it. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Now, I realized how superficial these thoughts were. However, what can you expect from a 15-year-old girl who had barely been out of her home and didn't know what the world was like? Now, I look back to the 481 plus minus 5 days that I have written in my diaries while being here, and I smile. Before coming here, I didn't like back home. I was sick of my environment, of how there is no motivation, no reflection, no thought. I was sick of the problems that flooded the TV. Unemployment, high dropout rates from school, too much nationalism, and no perspectives of future whatsoever. And sadly, that was not only on the TV. That was my everyday life. Then I arrived here. Here I have met many different people. You. Each one of you are very particular and unique in your own way. Motivated, full of dreams, energy, and passion. However, I realized that your reason to come here was very similar to mine. We were deceived by the world as it is. We were disappointed by how the relationship between cultures, countries, nations, and religions is either non-existent or full of conflicts due to the fear born from ignorance. I hope we still are deceived and disappointed. Why? You may legitimately ask. Well, because we have done nothing yet. Some of us have been here for 2 years. Some of us have been here for only 1. Some of us have been here for almost a lifetime. And it is true that while we are here, we learn more than ever. Not only in class, but also from our peers and teachers and experience itself. It seems to me that I have learned much more here in 2 years than in my previous 15 that I have lived before arriving to Luino. It seems to me that I have lived much more here in 2 years than in the previous 15 that I have lived. More intense, more challenging, more exhausting. Destructive and constructive both at the same time. But it has been the most rewarding time in my life so far. Here, I have met the most strange and extraordinary people that I could ever imagine. From them, actually, from you, I have learned how important it is to listen. The most valuable thing I'm taking from my UWC experience are the stories that we have written together in my diaries every day. The ones that I have heard from you, the ones that we have lived together, the ones that you have inspired me to write. Here, I have discovered the power of words and communication. Thanks to those late-night conversations, infinite class discussions, Mensa talks, the lyrics of our songs, or just random questions that led to deep philosophical debates, I have had the opportunity to listen to real stories about the world outside. The world outside my ideal utopia of simplicity and optimism, without social conventions or pressure. The world outside our bubble of Duino, where there isn't anything worse than getting a bad grade, Mensa food, math class at 7 in the morning, or having a fight with a friend due to a misunderstanding. Listening to you, I have heard stories of war, of nationalisms, of persecutions, of physical and psychological violence, of lack of basic resources, of corrupt governments, of violation of human rights and oppression that are happening right now, somewhere in our planet. All these stories have changed my perception of the world. But while these many different perspectives of the world have radically changed myself, the world outside is still more or less the same. What have we lived together in the bubble of Duino has stayed in the bubble of Duino. What is the impact we, you and I, the people who are listening to me right now, have had in the world outside? Until now, not a big one, I'm afraid to say. But that is the whole point of it. Our life in Duino, although short, is infinite. All what we have shared is infinite. All what we have created together is infinite. It will follow us wherever we go, from now on, as a shadow. All these experiences we have lived will come back to our minds at the most random moments of our existence, thanks to a song, thanks to a color, thanks to smell, or a word, or a landscape. Our memories will remain, although many of them may be altered through the glass of time, to be maybe better than what they were, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that we will remember. We will remember when we understood for the first time that building a community is not as easy as we thought. We will remember that it takes time to get to know people. We will remember that it's difficult to commit ourselves to our ideals, yet we try, because it's necessary. We will remember the first times we were ourselves here. We will remember how we forgot about our difference and united because of a common objective. We have not lived all these things in vain. All these things that we will remember, all this love, all this effort, all these difficulties, opportunities, discoveries, all these challenges that we have overcome must be the spark of our fire. This fire is the one that has to change all what we hated before arriving here. This fire has to burn our deception and disappointment and turn it into conviction and belief. This fire, alimented from our conviction and belief in a more peaceful, sustainable and fair world, based on the evidence of our experience here, has to burn to ashes all wars, all kinds of violence or oppression, of misunderstanding. This fire must burn all injustices and build a new world. And we're the ones who carry this fire. Dear family, querida familia, gracias por darme las alas para volar tan lejos y alto como he querido, y confiar en que las usaría bien. Gracias a vosotros seguiré con mi camino, con alegría y convicción, segura de que no habrá límites suficientemente grandes como para pararme, porque yo soy más grande y fuerte que ellos. Dear teachers, you are the ones seeing generations and generations of students like us and still believe in the power of education. Thank you for your commitment with this cause, for not giving up even if sometimes it seems pointless to keep teaching. I can promise you that you have had a deep impact on many of us and that your words and your wisdom will be alive in our minds and in our hearts. Thank you for encouraging us to go further, to keep trying, to go on and follow our passions and do something meaningful with our lives. Dear Primi, you still have a year ahead in this place. Make the most of it, please. Take your time to face the challenges, to learn, to listen, to change, to understand, and to love. In a year's time, you'll be in our same situation, so get ready to go back to the real world and to make a change. Dear co-years, our 2 years journey together finishes today. But also our real mission starts today. We have to spread the word, to spread the fire. Duino has given us the tools and experience enough to discover our potentials. And now it is time to use them to make an impact. It is time to carry on with our lives, wherever we go and whatever we do, and do our best to make the world a better place as we dreamt before coming here. I'm not going to say goodbye to you, because we are together in this mission. And as long as we try to spread the word and spread that fire, our paths will cross again. Answering the question I asked myself 2 years ago before coming here, no. These 2 years have not been a waste of time. These 2 years have taught me that we are the ones writing the history, the mother of truth. And that is why the world will be blown, UWC, or whatever we want to write with our fire. Thank you.
Si esibirà ora il BBR Adriatic Funk di cui fanno parte Andrés e Fernando del Messico, Fleming della Germania e José della Nigeria. Con un pezzo da loro composto che si intitola Creatures of the Night. Al termine di questo pezzo le autorità sono invitate ad accomodarsi nel foyer dell'auditorium dove sarà servito un rinfresco. The BBR Adriatic Funk Association, Andrés and Fernando from Mexico, Fleming from Germany and Josea from Nigeria, will now perform for us Creatures of the Night, a piece composed by the band.